All right, happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. Super pumped tonight, you guys. I love seeing, by the way, I just need to say this before we really dive in. I love seeing how our Zooms are growing each week with your faces. I love that during this time when we've had maybe our schedules open up in new and unique ways, we've allowed space for this in our week. And my biggest cry is I hope that this is inspiring you to stay plugged in. That week after week, those of you who are plugging in are truthfully having the best experience. Maybe, you're having the best experience on the business side of things. You might be having the best experience with your self-care in ways that you never had. Maybe you're having a really great experience just plugged into community and meeting new people on the team and just growing together. But I truly believe that being on these calls brings the best experience. So I love that you guys are making this a staple in your week. So thank you. I value your time, and I'm going to dive in and not waste it. So first things first, I got some announcements. We've got a couple team-wide virtual events happening, and you probably saw these on the team page. I went crazy with the events today. Sorry about that for a second there. But I want to make sure you guys know what's going on. So first and foremost, the Rise conference, for the first time ever, they're going to do it virtually so that they can bring the event to the people. I've gone to Rise Business. I've never attended Rise, like the normal Rise. Rise Business, though, was epic, and it was incredible. And I brought back such content, such rich content that not only did I pour into you guys, but I poured into my own business. And I believe so much, not only in personal development on a week-to-week basis where we're reading our books and listening to podcasts, but I believe getting immersed in live events is so key for longevity and keeping your spirit up and working on why you're here. Just really great for any business owners. So this is only $40, you guys. I'm pretty sure when I went to Rise Business, I spent upwards of, maybe when it was all said and done with my flights and my hotel room and just all the things, guys, probably near $1,000 to go to that event. And I pay it again. They are phenomenal, and they bring the energy and they bring the speakers. I asked today on the team page, who are you most excited for on the event of it? And I'm pretty excited for Eric Thomas. He is, if you listen to the Quote of the Day show, he's E.T. He's the one that's always getting everybody revved up. Anyway, love it. And I'm super pumped because I've never heard him live before. So I'm all signed up. We're going to figure out, once we see everybody that signed up for this, we'll figure out how to virtually connect and make it a team thing, almost like we went to a conference together. It's going to be fun though. And I just love it. So get your tickets for that. And then the other one, this is free. This is no tickets necessary, but it's this Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, okay? And it is our virtual super weekend. It's the very first super weekend that's going to be happening virtually. Usually they happen in your neighborhoods and hometowns near you. It's kind of like a quarterly summit that they bring every quarter to help us know what's coming down the pipeline in terms of product launches. They're going to talk about bod groups. That's what's replacing my Challenge Tracker app and Beachbody On Demand. It's all going to be lumped into one place. So our customers, when they enroll, we're going to say, here, download this app. And in the app, they're going to have the potential to log their workouts, do their workouts and access them right there. They'll also have access to purchasing, pausing, changing flavors on their orders right in bod groups. So it'll all be in one interface. It's going to be so cool. So we're going to get more training on that. Always announcements, and the super trainers, I'm sure we'll have some fun stuff planned for us. So that's this Saturday. We have book club at 7 a.m. Then we'll go on our merry ways, do your thing. At 1 p.m. though, we're gonna reconnect, super weekend. It's a Zoom link, and we'll hop on and we'll learn, grow, and just have fun together in our Beachbody community. So those two team-wide virtual events are happening. Real quick, I want to shout out our leaderboard. Oh, it got kind of messed up. Oh well, that's okay. Our leaderboard's already rocking for the month, you guys. We're getting close to the halfway point. I'm loving seeing names on here. Amanda's already at Success Club. Ashley's so stinking close. And we've got Kristen, Shelly, Leah, Heather, Megan, Andrea, and Annie who are on the leaderboard. And I'm loving the people, Amanda, Ashley, Shelly, and Annie specifically, who have also enrolled new coaches in April. Remember, our goal every month is Emerald again, right? So if you're not Emerald this month. Get Emerald in April, right? If you already are Emerald, again, and again and again. Amanda and I just got off a one-on-one, and we're navigating how do we get, her business center to that 1-star qual, to 2-star qual, and at its root, it's emerald again, and emerald again, and emerald again, and then you get there, and then one day you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have this like team, like it's crazy. Emerald every month. If you've been sitting stagnant in a rank, now's the time to pump up the energy. People need us, you guys. I don't know if you heard Carl Deichler's stats on the National Wake Up Call this morning, but I'm pretty sure something like 10,000 coaches have been enrolled just this month so far. 10,000. So if you're like, there's no one out there that wants to join me, you're full of it. 10,000 people said, yes, I want to be a Beachbody coach just in the last 13 days, you guys. How incredible is that? People are out there. People are craving community. People are craving what we have right now, the triple threat, right? It's not just fitness, but it's community, it's that support, and it's also financial opportunity in their lap, right? And so we have that solution for people. Just keep going out there, presenting it and sharing about it, you guys. Tonight, we're going to talk about vital behavior number 2. Let's dive in. This is the meat and potatoes on our business tracker. In the second block on my BAT, my business activity tracker, right? The first one, be proof the products work. The third one, getting people results. And the fourth one, doing personal development. I find most coaches are pretty solid at those. They're pretty good at getting those down, right? But it's this middle chunk, and most specifically, connecting and adding followers, inviting people and following up, where we get stuck. And if I had to ask you, if a coach said, Brittany, my business is really stuck and I don't know I don't know why, one thing I'd be willing to bet is you're not giving enough attention to vital behavior number 2, and not just the posting part, but the actual connections with people, like actual human connections. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to talk you through a little system I use that helps me stay organized on Instagram. You ready for it? So first of all, why is this vital behavior important? Well, it's the behavior that moves the needle forward in your business. So again, if you feel like you haven't been hitting Success Club, you feel stuck, you feel like you haven't rank advanced, or you're just starting out and you're trying to find some momentum, this is the momentum. Initiating connections, inviting people, and following up, okay? These must be done daily, though, in order to see results. 5 to 6 days a week, I would say. I work my business 5 days a week. That's where I'm at in my business 6+ years in, and that's a rhythm and a groove I have, and it fits my goals and my personal life. But if you have really big goals, then maybe you want to work more days than not, right? If this doesn't work, though, what I want you to know is it doesn't work if you just do it like 2 or 3 days a week. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It's like if you said, I want to be a millionaire, but I'm only willing to go into my Starbucks job 2 days a week. Well, it's going to take you a while, right? It's going to take you a while. So if you want to be a millionaire faster, you go to your Starbucks shift more, right? And you stock away the money. So this has to be done daily. And if you've got bigger goals, you need to do more. This whole middle chunk, like I said, is your power hour. So on Tuesdays, when I guide us through our action hour, I don't guide us through our workout. I don't talk about how we contribute to our challenge group or how we respond to our questions from our customers or our coaches, right? I don't usually talk about those during a power hour because that's not what is moving the needle forward. This is also an area where people overthink. They love to stop themselves in their tracks and say, oh my gosh, myself included. Like I'll overthink, oh my gosh, maybe I haven't talked to this person enough, or maybe I haven't this, or maybe I haven't that. You guys, just today I signed a new client up, challenge pack, all the things, right? And I love once I sign somebody up, once I enroll somebody, and I encourage you to do this. Go back to how it started. I do this all the time. So I'll enroll a new challenger and then I'll scroll all the way back. Let me go back. How did this start? Did I send them like a hey girl kind of message? Like, I'm so glad you're following me. Did I get in their inbox via their story? Did I just invite them because they were watching mine? Like I love to go back. And this particular person, this woman that signed up today, when I went back, I invited her from my story. That's the first time I sent her a message. She had been watching my story. I thanked her for it. I said, if you ever want information, give me the green light. And she actually responded to it and said, yeah, that she did. And we had gone back and forth. It was never the right time. And this actually started back in January. This actually started back to the whole live super weekend thing. January was the last super weekend. There was one here in Dallas. Amanda attended it with me. Whoop, whoop. And I posted a picture from that in my story. And that's the story I invited her to. or from, right? And so there's power in that because she was watching me at this event with my friend, like loving what we're doing, right? Getting results, having this community, and she wanted to be a part of it. So there's power in that, right? So don't be afraid to show all of it. Like tonight, while you're on here, share this Zoom while you're on, like while you're listening, record me speaking on your story, right? And talk about like, why do you take 30, 45, an hour of your Monday every week to learn? Why is that important to you? Why do you love this, right? And just don't overthink, but share your story, okay? One of the things is, I get this from people all the time, I don't have anybody else to invite. I've invited everybody, they've all said no, I don't know who else to invite. Well, the problem with that is you have probably stopped expanding your network and connecting with new people, and we end up hitting a dead end when we do that. Because the reason I expand my network and I connect with people on the daily is so that I have people to invite and follow up with. If I'm not doing that, then it just becomes icky. I become this like salesperson where I'm just like randomly in someone's inbox one day telling them to join my challenge group, and they're like, you haven't talked to me in like 6 months. Why are you even talking to me today, right? So rather than being that icky salesperson, I take my time expanding and connecting with people so that I don't come across that way, right? I think of myself as a professional friend maker. This is a relationship building business, okay? A relationship building business. If you don't want to build relationships, if you don't want to get to know people better, either hone in, there's 2 choices you gotta make, right? Either hone in on that skill and start finding YouTube tutorials, books to read that talk about that, or maybe it's not for you, right? But I don't think that about you guys. If you're on this call, I don't believe that's true. I just believe maybe it needs some refining. Just remember that this is about building relationships, because when that person does say yes and wants more information and then does join you, you have to have some sort of relationship. Otherwise, that person's never gonna wanna press play on their workout because you're just this like random stranger on the internet. We build these relationships so that we can help people get results. Also remember that when you're going through this, we remove emotion. As women, we love to put the emotion into things. Oh my gosh, they don't want to join me. Nobody likes this, da, 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 da. And we put all these labels on things that's not really true. What we need to remember is that this solution isn't right for everyone. Some people love going to CrossFit, and that is okay. Some people are really happy in their jobs and they have no desire to build this business on the side, and that is okay. But along the way though, you're gonna meet people who do need us in some capacity. Maybe they need the community, right? Maybe it's that isolated mom that just feels like she's lost her identity, right? She needs the community. Maybe it's the fitness, the person that's tried everything and nothing's worked for them. They need that fitness support. Maybe it's the financial opportunity, right? When I first started this business, I just needed like a little extra cash to like make ends meet, so it wasn't so tight week after week, so that I didn't stress when I got to the grocery store that my debit card was going to be declined, right? I just needed that extra wiggle room. And then it turned into so much more from there. But you guys, this chunk right here, what we're going to talk about is how you grow a business online. So when you're like, how do you do this, Brittany? Like, how are you a Beachbody coach? Literally, this is it. And it's so simple. So I want you guys to get out your phones right now. Give me a second. I got to go grab mine. I had it charging. All right, let's get out our phones and let's open up Instagram. I want to do this together, okay? So that I don't want you to walk away from this call tonight and be like, well, that was a really nice call. I'll try that sometime. No, no, no. I want you to walk away equipped so that you're like, okay, I'm ready to crush my power hour. I know how to connect with people. I know how I'm going to add followers. I know how to do this. And then from there, once I feel like I've got connections made and people are on my stories and watching what I'm doing, that's when I can bridge into inviting and following up with people, right? So I want tonight to be a night where like you walk away ready to do something, not just ready with a great idea, okay? So when I get to my Instagram, when I open it, it opens on the home page, okay? I'm gonna click on my circle on the far right side so I can get onto my profile. And when I get there, there's 3 bars at the very top right corner, okay? I click on those 3 bars, and if I look down about midway, there's a ribbon that says saved. These are called collections on Instagram. It's like Pinterest, okay? And so when you click on saved, if you have nothing there, it'll be blank. It'll be empty. There are 4 collections that I have, and I kind of have them right here. I have accounts that I love, I'll go over this here in a second of what that looks like, but accounts I love is right here. I have a collection for building relationships. That's when I first follow somebody and I want to make sure that, number one, that they follow me back, but number two, that I'm building a relationship with them and I'm just being a kind human out on the internet. I also have a board that's for people who I'm ready to invite / they could be follow-ups too. Maybe I have invited them, but I can follow up them. You could make that into 2 collections if you wanted, if your brain works better that way. But for me, I like to just put them all in one place. These are people that I've invited at least once, and then now I can follow up with them, okay? And then I actually have a board for people who should be a coach. When I get to someone's profile, you guys, immediately I can tell based on what they're sharing if they should be invited to my challenge group or if they should be invited to coaching. And the way I can tell is simply just in their confidence on social media. If I get to somebody's page and they're really confident about fitness, like they love running, okay, and they share about it regularly, or maybe they love recipes and like trying new ones and they're always sharing about it, or maybe they're just like some really crafty, artsy, stay-at-home mom, but they have just such beautiful pictures and they understand how to write good captions. Those are people that should be a coach, right? Like they should immediately come into this because they already have kind of like the gist of what it is I do on social media. So sometimes when I stumble across an account, those people don't necessarily need my challenge group, but I think that they would benefit from becoming a coach on our team. So I have a board for that too. A bonus board or collection that I have that maybe you'd like to do is every once in a while, when I'm scrolling Instagram, I stumble across a post or a caption that draws my attention or I really love. Or maybe it's just the angle of the photo. Like in this one right here, this is where it's at. I like the way she's holding her mug. I like how her hair is to the side. I like this picture. So I have a bonus collection that anytime I find a post that I like, rather than just reading it and consuming it, I save it so that later, if I want to go back and recraft it so it sounds like my own and is based like on my life, right? I can. I won't just forget about it, okay? So those are the collections. Now, I want to teach you how to make them. Let me exit out of here. Where did my share go? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Are you with me, guys? We good? Okay. So when I get to this saved, if you don't have a board yet, there's a plus sign in the top right. So in the plus sign in the top right, you can create a collection name, and we'll just go back through those 4 again. So accounts I love. I'm going to type them in the chat for you. Build relationship, invite / follow up. That can be 1 or that can be 2. And then should be a coach. And the category for should be a coach might make you uncomfortable. I'm going to talk while you create those. Okay, so if you don't have those set yet, create them right now while I'm talking. The one that says should be a coach might make you feel uncomfortable because you might be in this like imposter syndrome place right now where you're like, oh my gosh, who am I to invite somebody to be a coach? Like if they're such a rock star on Instagram, that might be intimidating. I've been there. But the thing is, I would rather invite somebody that I'm like in awe of and inspired by, because that means that they would be awesome, right? Like, so if this makes you nervous to like make a category for should be a coach, I encourage you to do it, right? Make sure you do it, because those are the kinds of people that when we have a sneak peek and we do our team-wide monthly sneak peek, those are the kinds of people you invite to that. Those are the kind of people that if they're watching your story while you're at Summit or while you're at an event or while you're doing book club or after a Monday night team call and you notice that they caught your story, those are the people that you'd say, oh my gosh, I love that you caught this story. I can't help but just know that you'd be so amazing at this. Have you ever considered doing coaching like what I do? Right? And that's when you throw things like that in. Okay. So these are the boards that I keep myself organized with on Instagram. You guys, when I'm on Instagram, rarely am I scrolling to just consume. Now, I know most people in the world use social media to consume. I use this little device right here in my hand to build a business. So when I get on my phone, for example, when I go into Instagram, my motive is to build a business. So for example, today I was connecting with people and I was watching stories. And as I watched a story, someone had shared something. It was a really cool, like, little Enneagram graphic that I loved. And when I clicked on that from their story, it took me to a big account. It took me to an influencer account that had a lot of people watching it, had a lot of people liking and interacting with the posts. Did I just sit there and consume that account? No. What did I do, you guys? I saved it to the collection of accounts I love. Because every time I see an account I love, I need to save it somewhere so I don't just consume it and forget about it. So under accounts I love, who here already has like accounts they love set up on their Instagram? Love it. So anytime you guys stumble across an account, and now this is not a coach, this is not like another Beachbody coach that you love to follow. This is accounts you love, like that have nothing to do with Beachbody. So every time I stumble across an account, for example, I stumbled across this account, and actually I think Katie, you follow it too, because I saw you like some of the stuff on it. I was like, yes, we're like the same people. But it's called Cathartic Word. And she's just super artsy. She has 147K, like, it's super cute, super fun. I shared one of her things onto my story today. Anyway, there's a lot of followers. And so rather than, again, just consuming, I shared it onto my story, and then I started using it to expand my network. So this is how I do it. Once I have accounts I love, and you'll each day build it up. You add a person here, you add an account here, there. Every day I'm building that account so that when I go into that board, there's so many options to choose from when I'm in here, right? Because I have different accounts I love. So I click on them. When I click on that account, again, I'm gonna go to their latest post, and I'm gonna see who's liked it, and I'm literally gonna go down, and those are the people that I'm gonna start following. Now, as I follow these accounts, okay, I'm gonna click on their name. We did something in our training the other day, in our guided power hour the other day, that was called a 3-2-1, okay? So I do this as I'm going through. So I click on somebody. When I get to her account, I'm gonna like 3 of the pictures. I'm gonna comment on 2 of them, and the 1 is a follow, and the bonus is also, if they have an active story, I'm gonna watch it and get into their inbox somehow, okay? So I don't overthink this. If I get to the page and there's not 3 things to like and not 2 things to comment on, we're not each other's jam. It's okay, I'm gonna exit out, right? If I get on the page and she's selling, Rodan and Fields, I'm gonna get out. Like, I'm not trying to look at other network marketers, right? So I got to her page, I like 3 of her things, 1, 2, 3, okay? 2 genuine comments. I follow her. She has an active story. I watch it. I'm going to do the googly heart, smiley eyes. Okay. I got into her inbox. Bada boom, bada bing. But I don't leave her page yet. If it's a public page, I don't leave. What am I going to do? I'm going to click on a post, any of the posts. And when I click on the post, there will be a ribbon that pops up in the bottom corner. See it? Right there. When you click on that ribbon in the bottom corner, you can hold it down, and the pop-up will come at the bottom. It says save to. Okay? This is now where I will add her into the build relationship category. I'm going to save it there. Why? Because tomorrow, I'm not going to remember I followed her. But it's saved now in my collection. So when I go to my build relationship collection tomorrow and I want to build a relationship with people and like their stuff, comment on it, sprinkle some awesome their way, I'll have her saved in there. So now I won't forget about her. Okay? Are you guys with me with this? Is this making sense? This is how I expand my network. Okay? If you get to an influencer account, an inspo account, one of the accounts I love, right? When you get to an account like that, if you're having a hard time finding people, leave the account and find a different one. Right? It just might not be the right account. Like sometimes it's just the wrong groove or the wrong post or whatever that day. So don't feel like, oh God, I tried it one account and I couldn't find anybody, or nobody bought a challenge pack from me today, so it was a wash. Like, no. This takes time. My challenge for you for the rest of April is to literally do this for at least 30 minutes every day. Have your boards. We have our boards set up now. Yes, like Scouts Honor, they're all set up. Start with your accounts I love, go through, look at their latest post, follow people who look like your jam. 3, 2, 1. You like 3 things, you comment on 2, you give a follow, and your bonus is getting into their stories and sending them a direct message. You do this for as long as you can, for 30 minutes, right? And then you build connections with those people, because now they're in a build relationship board. You don't have to go searching for them. You literally just build connections with them. So you click on that, you go to their page, you love on their newest stuff, right? Okay, let's talk about the invite and follow up one here in a second. I just want to peek these questions and make sure I answer something before I move on. When do you put someone in the build relationship, and when do you know it's time to move them to the invite? Okay, I'm going to talk about that in like 2 seconds. So we're good though on how to put them in the build relationship, right? Okay, let me back up on that one. So when I'm in accounts I love, I find somebody like that woman that I just did the 3, 2, 1 with, right? That's when I put her in build relationships. If it's a private account though, Leah, I can't do that right away. So I just have to click follow, cross my fingers that her picture looked legit. So cross my fingers that she's gonna allow me to follow her. I get a notification because I have my setting turned on for it that she's allowed me to follow her account. Once I know that, then I can put her into the collection, right? Yeah. So building relationships comes through the accounts I love. That's how I pour them into this. Now I'm always cleaning it out, you guys. Even today, I went into my build relationships and there's a lot of people who didn't follow me back, and it's been a while, and I've loved on a lot of their stuff and commented genuinely and talked to them on their stories, and they still haven't followed me back. And if I really look at them and I'm like, no, but they're really my tribe, I need them to follow me, then I'll keep doing it because it's fun and I like it and I'm being genuine. But if I look at their account and I'm like, you know, it's okay, they never followed me back, then I unfollow them and I remove them from the collection. So just know that this collection is not stagnant. It's like organic. It's always changing. And so I'm putting people into it, but I'm also taking people out of it. Okay. So I can remove them by simply just removing them as a follower and removing them from the collection, or I can move them to inviting and following up. This is how I do it. I put somebody into a build relationship category for however long it takes for them to, number one, follow me back. Because at this point, they haven't followed me. I'm following them and I'm loving on their stuff, but they haven't followed me. So I want them to follow me back. If they followed me back, then I want them to also, like, I want to speak to them. Like, I want to love on their stuff, be part of their stories, connect with them genuinely with no agenda of selling them anything, right? So I'm literally, when they're in this category, there's no timeline, you guys, on when to put them into invite. Because somebody might be put into build relationships and like the next day they're watching my story and taking my poll and they already want information. That's awesome. That's not everybody though. Maybe I put somebody in build relationships and it's taking just time for us to organically connect. Maybe they don't post very often, so it's taking longer because I'm trying to, love on their stuff, but they haven't posted since the last time I loved on it, so there's no way for me to go in there, right? So everybody's different. I can't give you a timeline, but I can say that when the conversation can shift over to an invite, hey, by the way, I'm doing this group and I thought maybe you'd be interested, then you can transition them to the invite. Yeah? Okay. This build relationship box, this collection is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And from there, it's like a funnel. So that one's getting bigger. You're funneling them down. You're funneling them down. You're funneling them down. If you go tonight and you build a bunch of relationships, you put a bunch of people, let's say tonight you put 25 people in that, and then you don't touch it for the rest of the month, it does no good, right? This has to be a daily practice, a daily groove that you get into, okay? If I put in 5 people though, let's say I put in 5 people today to build a relationship with, and I commit to doing that again tomorrow, 5 people tomorrow, and then I commit to 5 more people, and every day I do 5 for a month, that's 150 people, right? So you could do 25 amazing accounts today and then do nothing with it, or I could do a little bit at a time and it adds up to a whole lot. So just look at it that way, right? We're not trying to like cast our net so wide. I want you to go deep. This category is so that you're building relationships and connecting with people, because that's how people do business. Okay, they do it with people they know, like, and trust. And if they're not even following you back, then you don't even have a ground to invite them on, right? So we want to make sure that they are seeing our stuff too, right? Okay, so when we put them into the invite, the reason why I leave it as just one is because now at this point, they've been invited. Everybody in this collection, now every month I can come and circle back to, hey, I know last month wasn't a great time for you. I want to follow up. So imagine if this month you put, 5 people a day and you got 150 people. By next month, those people are the people you're inviting. By the next month, those are people you're following up with, and it just keeps snowballing. Do you see that? Right? So maybe 5 people doesn't seem like a lot today, but 3 months from now, 5 new relationships turned into 150 potential people to invite, turned into now 300 people the next month because I have 150 new ones to invite plus the 150 from last month that I'm going to follow up with. It turns into a lot. Now, again, remember back to the beginning, does everybody want this? No. Is everybody going to be receptive to more information? No. But all you can control is bringing in new energy and developing the relationships. So you have to do that part, right? I think where we get stuck is coaches hear a no, and then they just stop all further forward momentum, right? You've got to realize that that no doesn't mean that the next person doesn't want it or can't benefit from it. Okay, and then the should be a coach category is its own separate thing. And it's literally if I stumble across an account and I'm like, yeehaw, you're awesome, you should be on my team. I put them there. I use it the same way. I build relationships with them. And then from that account, when it's time for a new sneak peek each month, I go into that account, into that collection, and I invite those people specifically. And I am very specific with why I think they would be a really great coach on our team. Yeah? Let me look down at more questions. Kristen, are you looking for accounts with a certain number of followers? Yes, for the inspo accounts. Is that what you're asking for? Accounts I love? Yeah. So accounts I love is like my inspo accounts, right? And I look for an account that probably has more than, usually I look around like 20K plus, but I don't want to go past like 100K's pushing it. Because then when they start to get into like Ellen DeGeneres, I use this example all the time, or like Target, those are way too big of accounts. You're going to get lost, and there's just way too many types of people. It's not niched enough. Like the more laser targeted focus and niched, like specific that account is to who they're talking to, the better, because I can tell those are my people versus they're not. You know what I mean? If I went to something like Target's account, there's so many different types of people that love Target. I might not find my tribe there, right? Okay, next, do you do the 3, 2, 1 from the accounts I love based on who likes the post? Yep. So I click on who's liked the post, or I might go to who's commented on the post if it's got a lot of comments too. I like doing that because they're engaging. That means those people are actively on Instagram engaging, because I want people who are going to come to my account and engage with it, right? So I do that from there. Yep. I love Amanda's suggestions. Teacher accounts, books I read, church. Yep. And other great things to do is to look up local restaurants you go to, local hotspots, local boutiques you like. Here there's a place called V Eats. It's like a vegan eatery, but it's like for the person that doesn't really want to be vegan, that likes meat, I guess you could say. And so it's a really good place to eat. And so I like to find people through that because they're local, they like the same type of food I like, that kind of stuff. Do you invite them right away? No, never. I never invite somebody right away. And that's not to say, okay, nope, never say never. I might invite somebody right away if they are showing interest. For example, somebody followed me when I first moved to Dallas. I found somebody through the church that we go to, and she immediately messaged me from my like morning unicorn juice. She's like, "What's unicorn juice?" And she wanted to know all about it, right? She messaged me, and so that opened the door for me to do that. Otherwise, I just want to I want you to be inspired by me, you know? I want people who want to be a part of the community I'm creating, right? I don't want to force anybody into it. Yeah. So no, I do not invite people right away. They go into the build relationship, and quite frankly, they stay there for probably a month, if not longer. It just depends. Everybody's different. Add followers based on their photos. Where do you get a setting to notify you when you get new followers? Yep. So in my settings, let me find it. I'm just making sure this is the right place before I take you guys on a little goose hunt. Okay, if you click on settings, so again, those 3 top bars in the right corner of your profile page, there's a wheel at the top that says settings. You see that? And then under that, there's a notification button. The third one down is notifications. And if you go down to following and followers, accepted follow requests, turn it on. You see that? So now when my example is John Appleseed accepted your follow request, it'll let me know that. It'll notify me. Okay? Okay, cool. These are good questions. So as long as they follow you back, then you can move them to invite. If they follow me back, it's just more of an opportunity for me to connect with them. I don't put them into the invite until I physically invited them. Yeah. If you want a holding room though, like let's say, and again, if your mind is working that way, Leah, and others, like you might be listening to this and you're like, yeah, but I want a place for like a holding room that I know that they followed me back, then create another collection, right? So like this collection is people I've followed, and then the second one would be build relationships. So once you know they've followed you back, put them into the building relationships, right? And then when you're ready to invite and you've invited them, put them over into invite. Does that make sense? So you could create like another category if your brain functions that way. Again, play with this, you guys. I don't want you to take the 4 that I gave you and be like, bah, this doesn't work for me. It doesn't make sense. Take those 4 I gave you and play with it, because I'm constantly evolving them. I used to do it by month because this is how my brain would work. I would do everybody I requested in January. Then I do everybody in February. I'd make a totally new one for February. I'd make a totally new one for March. And so that way, when I got to March, I could go back to my January people and invite my January people, because I know by March, I've already built relationships with them, right? Or I could clean out anybody that didn't follow me back. So you could also do it month by month. That's a way I've done it too. And that worked really well for my head. Okay, do this paper and pencil. Yep, you can do paper and pencil. This is just a way to see, you guys, tracking is key. And so I'm basically teaching you a way to track that you can take anywhere with you, because you might not have your notebook with you, but if I am with my phone and I'm like, oh, I need to send out some invites right now, I know exactly where I can go. I can go to my collection, or I need to build relationships. Who should I talk to today? Oh, I know exactly where I can go, right? So this is just a way to keep it on track, especially when you don't want to have to lug around notebooks. Okay. When I go to love on them again, either it will be private still. If it isn't private, I still do the 3, 2, 1. Yep. Love that. If it isn't private, you can build a relationship and they will end up following you. Yes. I think I'm just at a loss who to invite if I'm building relationships for a month. So these new people, you guys, that's a really great question. Especially since, Leah, you're pretty brand spanking new in your business right now with this. You're inviting your people, your warm market people. You're inviting, like, truthfully, your friends on Facebook and the people who are already your friends on Instagram who have been following you since the day you got the account, and like those are your ride or dies. Those are the people you're inviting. Hey, and this is how I make it not icky with people like that, is it's, hey, I have been struggling for so long to get consistent in my fitness and to just get like laser focused in my nutrition. And so I got to a place where I was just done. And I signed up, went all in with this program I'm doing right now. And honestly, I would love if you just did it with me. Will you do this together? Will you do the next 6 weeks with me? In your beginning stages of your business, when you're inviting those warm market people, you need to tell them why did you draw the line in the sand and say, I'm doing this? Tell them that, because they know you well enough that it's okay to tell them that. And then tell them you want them to do it with you. And they might not be ready. And again, that's okay if they're not ready. Let them watch you, right? But in the beginning, these people that you're adding are not the people you're inviting. I hope we're clear on that. Like, those are not people I'm inviting at all. They probably will not get an invite from me until at least May, June, unless I see them in my story and they're like really engaged with it, right? Then I might slip in there, okay? But there's not like a prescription on that. But I will tell you in the beginning, you got to go to the people who've already been watching you and tell them why you're doing this and why you'd love them to do it with you. Are there any other questions? That's really all I have today, you guys. I really wanted to block out how I make those 4 categories, because I think those are crucial to your organization in Instagram. And anytime, like, I know you might follow other coaches I don't like following other coaches because number one, I find myself getting trapped in comparison and I get paralyzed. When I follow really top coaches, I start second guessing my own skill set. Yeah. And so I don't follow other coaches other than our teammates. But I am inspired by other coaches. So for example, today, after the National Wake Up Call, I was very inspired by the coach who spoke today, right? She was awesome. So I went to her page and I just perused her page a little bit and I saw some inspiration. And instead of just saying, wow, she's awesome, I could never do that. No, I take that post, I save it to the board or the collection that I made, right? Of like posts or caption ideas that I love. And I save it there so that I can come back to it later. But I don't follow her. I'm not trying to stalk her page. I'm not like in her life, right? I'm building my own business over here. So I'm doing my thing, right? I don't want her business to make me pause and get slowed down in my endeavors. But I also see that she has value to add. So again, if you see a post that you love and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that post, save it to a collection. If you see an account you love and you're like, oh my gosh, that account's like so amazing, these people are like totally my tribe, save that account. Because these are the things that are going to make your power hour that much more efficient and you can do anywhere. Awesome. Any other questions, you guys, that you want to drop in the chat? I hope this was helpful.